press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, in the previous class we have seen the definition or what are the plastics and the types of plastics, that is thermo and thermosetting plastics and its various usage. Okay, almost now we know almost all everything whatever use are made up of plastics only. So what is the reason for this too much usage of this plastic? Okay, now let us see why are these plastics used everywhere. Okay, why do we prefer plastic more than that of the other metals? Okay, this is the non-reactive. Okay, like unlike other metals, for example iron, okay, when exposed to the environment it gets corroded or the formation of rust take place, okay, due to when it gets reacted with water or air, the corrosion takes place if it's the metal iron, for example. But if it's plastic, it does not react with the environment or it does not react with the water or air. Okay, it does not, okay, it does not get corroded or get affected with water and air, hence it is non-reactive in the atmosphere. Okay, so this is one of the reason for the preference of the plastic. Also these plastics are light, strong and durable. Okay, we have seen the usage of plastic, isn't it? Everywhere the plastics are used, even in our households, even day-to-day life plastics are used in everything. Okay, it is because of the reason that is they form different shapes, different sizes, and these are very light, strong and durable. Okay, and these are poor conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, this is the reason that handles of cookware, okay, handles of screwdrivers are made up of the plastic, okay, because they do not conduct electricity. They are very bad conductors of electricity, unlike metals, screwdrivers, etc. Okay, these are because of the reason that it is a poor conductor of heat and electricity. Also these are used in healthcare industry or medical industry. Okay, why? Because most of the covering of tablets, okay, packaging of tablets, even the threads to cover the wound or to heal the wound, the threads used are plastic ones, and even the gloves which the doctor used are made up of plastics. Okay, even the medical boxes, medicinal kits, etc. Okay, so so many uses of plastics we can also see in the medical field. Okay, also a special plastic is used in the microwave oven. To heat food. Okay, you might have seen the whenever we use a plastic vessel and we heat up the food in microwave oven, okay, the heat only heats the food present in it and does not affect the utensil in which the food is kept. That is because of the special plastic used. There are special plastics which makes the vessels, okay, unaffected by the heat of the microwave oven. Okay, and there is one more type of plastic, that is Teflon. Okay, this Teflon is the plastic which is used in the in the cookware industry. Okay, in the cooking utensils, that is it does not get stick with water and oil. It is non-sticky in nature, hence it is used in frying pans. Okay, non-sticky to water and oil. Okay, it does not make water and oil stick on it. Okay, hence it is responsible for the non-stick nature of the cookwares which we use in the kitchen. Okay, the plastic used is Teflon. Okay, and one more example is the melamine. This melamine in this plastic is used in the fabrics, as I said earlier. So when these firemen break into and help in this reducing the fire, even the fire doesn't affect their clothes. Okay, the fire which present is not affecting the clothes of these firemen because it is made up of the plastic, that is melamine, which is fire resistant. Okay, so these are the most important features or characters due to which we prefer more of plastic than that of the other metals or fibers. That is, these are non-reactive, these are light, strong and durable in nature. They are poor conductor of heat and electricity, unlike metals, hence they are used in the kitchenware or in cooking industries. Okay, and also used in the healthcare industry in making covering of tablets, medical kits, medical boxes, isn't in the gloves of doctors. Okay, so many uses we can also see in the healthcare industry. Also, there are special plastics used in the microwave ovens to make that cookware vessel. And the most important plastic is Teflon, which is a non-stick in nature, which does not allow water and oil to stick on it. Okay, hence it is used in the cooking utensils. And melamine is one of the important plastic that is helpful in making the fabric. Okay, this is fire resistant, hence it is used in the fabrics. So these are the usage of plastics. Okay, now we know that plastics are almost used everywhere. Okay, there is too much increase in the use of plastic. Okay, but is it safe to our environment? Okay, so what are the effects it does on the environment? Okay, let us see. Now let us see the plastic and the environment. How does it affect the environment? Okay. So, and one more important feature of this plastic is, this plastic is non-biodegradable. Okay. So this is not decomposed in the nature. So what are biodegradable? Okay, biodegradable materials are the ones which are decomposed by the microorganisms, for example bacteria. Okay, so those materials which get decomposed in the environment. Okay, it is environmental friendly, it does not affect the environment. But these non-biodegradable are the ones which are not decomposed. Okay, biodegradable means these are decomposed in the environment. Okay, by the action of bacteria or the other microorganisms. Okay, example peels of vegetables, fruits, plant waste, leaves, stem, root, likewise. So those waste are decomposed by the bacteria. So they are not hazardous to the environment. Okay, so peels of vegetables, fruits. Okay, even the plant waste, animal waste, etc. So these are biodegradable. So there are basically two types of these decomposition materials, that is biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Biodegradable are the ones which are bio means life. Okay, they are degradable by the living organism or the living structure, that is a microorganisms or something. Okay, non-biodegradable. These are not degradable by the organisms. Okay, so hence these are hazardous. It takes years and years to decompose the plastic. Okay, so it is hazardous, environmental hazardous. But whereas these biodegradable are the environmental friendly. Okay, it is not, does not affect the environment. Okay, whereas these plastics are non-biodegradable, it takes years and years. Okay, it does not even get decomposed. Okay, so that is one of the major drawback. And also this plastics burns very slow. Okay, in fact this plastic does not get burnt easily. Okay, and if burnt they are very slow, and while burning it releases poisonous gases in the atmosphere. Okay, and when we inhale our thermals, or it creates a pollution, and due to the inhalation of this plastic poisonous gas, it affects the health of the living beings, also the animals. Okay, so this burning is very slow. These are not even fully burnt, so half burnt, and even this releases the poisonous gas in the atmosphere. Okay, which leads to the pollution. Okay, this is one of the effect it causes to the environment. Okay, also whatever the plastic we use, okay, the wrappers of chips, biscuits and everything, okay, we just throw it somewhere on the road or in parks usually, like we don't care much. So here what happens, so those plastics flow and get into the water drains. Okay, when it gets into the water drains, it clogs them. Okay, or it makes them stop. Okay, it clogs them, so that the drain water flows on the road or on the streets and causes many diseases. So again that is one of the drawback, that is usage or throwing. Okay, throwing the wrappers, of chocolates, biscuits, everything, biscuits, chocolates, chips, etc. So whatever plastic, we just throw it somewhere, so that gets into the water drains, which further clogs them, and due to that cloggage the drain water gets or flow onto the street or roads, so causing many diseases. Okay, so these are the effects which plastic causes on the environment. Even sometimes what happen, the waste what we put in dustbins, okay, in the garbage waste, you might have seen the animals, for example cow, which feeds on that garbage waste. Okay, it ingests a few wrappers of the food, or some polythene bags with the leftover of the food in the garbage, isn't it? So that when the wrappers or the plastic get inside the animal, it gets choked, the respiratory system gets blocked, and further the animal dies. Okay, we have seen so many cases of this. Okay, animals getting affected by this intake or ingestion of this plastics. They won't be knowing if this plastic. Okay, so we as a responsible citizen, we have to take care of these precautions. So now let us see what are the precautions we might take to overcome these hazardous effects on the environment. Okay, so clear. So how this plastic affects the environment? It is biodegradable in nature, so it burns very slow, releasing poisonous gases. The wrappers, whatever we use, throw it here and there, that gets in the water drain, clogs them, and that drain water flows onto the road, causing many diseases. Also, the plastics thrown in the garbages, while animals are feeding on it, okay, when it gets ingested, it causes death finally. Okay, so that we as a citizens, we should take care of all this hazardous effect of plastic on the environment. So let us see how can this be controlled. Okay, now let us see the measures to reduce the ill effects of plastic on the environment. Okay, so we can reduce the use of plastic? How will you reduce the use of plastic? Okay. Don't think that the whole world or everyone should use, only then it is effective. No, you can just start by yourself. If you change, seeing you, someone else will. Okay, if you change, seeing you, your family will change. Likewise, it takes a while, but the change should start in ourselves. Okay, that's how the change matters. Okay, we should reduce the use of plastic. Okay, simply you can just instead of taking the polythene bags whenever you go to market, whatever you buy, okay, that they give in polythene bags or something which is plastic again. So instead of that, you can carry a cotton bag or a cloth bag instead, or actually in fact nowadays even that polythene bags, usage of polythene bags is reduced. Okay, that's a good thing. Okay, so we can do it, we can start it by ourselves. Okay, it's not like has to be done in a large scale or something. You yourself can bring a change. Okay, so reduce the usage of these polythene bags. Instead, you can just use cotton bags. Okay, you can in the market wherever you go, take your own cotton bag or cloth bag. Okay, so that is one of the good change. Also, even the plastic lunch boxes, what you use, the plastic box. Instead of that, you can use a steel box. See, when there is a demand for the product, then there is a supply. Okay, when there is a demand for this polythene bags, people will be producing it. Okay, when there is no demand, okay, when no one is using polythene bags, so why would they prepare? Why would the factory use it? Isn't it? So that's how you can just keep on reducing. Okay, even you can say no to the straws. Isn't it? The simple things we can, everyone can do. Okay, that's so. It's not like we can completely say no to plastic. Yes. But of course, it's not like everything what we use should be of plastic. It also can be reduced. Okay, so this is about the reducing the use of the plastic. Okay, as far as possible, do reduce the use of plastics. Okay. And also reuse. So whatever you get, in plastic bottles, the jams, pickles, etc. we usually get in the plastic bottles, isn't it? So after using the jam, after finishing the pickle, we should not just throw it. Okay, we can, after washing it, the plastic container, after washing it, we can use it for something else. We can store it for using the home, like this thing, salt or sugar or something, okay, or anything for that matter. You can just store that in a plastic container which we have got because of this jam and plastic, isn't it? So that's how you can reuse the plastic. Instead of one time use, if the plastic is good, you can just reuse. Okay, that is what reuse means. You can just use it again if it's possible. Okay, so that is about reusing the plastic. We can reduce the effect, and also the recycle. Okay, so what does recycle mean? Whatever the plastic waste we get, even in our house, industries or anywhere else, okay, that we can collect and give it to the plastic making factory. So what they do is, utilizing all this waste material of the plastic, they make new plastic. Okay, so that's how recycling is done. That is what recycle means done. So once the plastic is used, we use it, and again what we do, we give it to the factory, again they make a new plastic. So that is what recycling means. Okay, using the waste plastics, new materials of new articles of plastics are made. So recycling of plastic has to be done. And again, repurpose or recovering of plastic. Repurpose or recovering of plastics. So the waste plastics can be used as a resources. Okay, so that is the recovering of plastic. Okay, you might have seen recent in the news, there was something called plastic bottles. Okay, a guy used plastic bottles to make a boat. Okay, to make a small sailing boat, he used all the plastic bottles. Okay, if this is the boat, okay, not exactly the boat. This boat is made up of all these plastic bottles. Okay, what he did is he used all these plastic bottles. That is the waste, one time use. We just drink and throw the plastic bottles in dustbins or in somewhere else. So that what the guy did, he used these plastic bottles, to make a boat. So that is the use of waste materials to form a new resource. Okay, that is what we call repurpose or recovering. Okay, recovering the waste materials to give a new or to get a new resource. Okay, that was an example. That is, using waste materials, to get new resources. Okay, so that is about repurpose or recover. And also one more most important thing is refuse. Okay, refuse the more usage of plastic. Okay, as I said earlier, you can refuse to the usage of straw. Okay, plastic plates. Okay, use and throw plates of which are made up of plastics. You can just refuse the more of usage of these plastics. Okay, so this is how we can, you can, everyone can. Okay, no much big deal in doing all these 5 R's, what we say. Okay, these are the 5R principle. That every responsible citizen should follow to reduce the ill effects of the plastic on environment. That is, reduce, reuse, recycle, recover or repurpose, and refuse. So these are the 5R principle which we all citizens, as a responsible citizen, we need to follow to reduce the ill effect of this plastic on the environment. So with this, here completes your lesson. Thank you.